But before we get to that, let's address the elephant, literally, in the room. It's the 1-year anniversary of the Capitol insurrection. It was destructive, it was violent, it was a piss stain on our democracy, and it can't be forgotten. So if you want to hear people smarter than us talk about it, head to the Recounts Twitter. Now back to our regular programming. Okay, let me get this straight. Jake Paul is a vlogger, somehow turned top-earning boxer, somehow turned progressive pro-union champion? Paul has been feuding with UFC president and Trump bestie Dana White for a while, but Jake Paul has escalated the feud by offering him a challenge. If White meets the specific list of demands geared toward improving the pay, healthcare, and livelihood of UFC fighters, Paul would retire from boxing forever. White responded by saying Jake Paul is too stupid to write what is like a pretty simple and standard post. Comrade Jake shot back in like the douchiest video I've ever seen to say this.
You are one of the most selfish, capitalistic motherfuckers that I've ever seen.
LOL. This whole thing is entertaining and I can't believe I'm saying this, but if Jake Paul is gonna get health care for a group of people who desperately need it, I'm rooting for the kid. Speaking of viral loads, is bad, people. We're now hitting the highest number of COVID cases ever. Coronavirus! Omicron is the weakest link in the unholy trinity, but it does not mean that we're not in some other ways. With the U.S. posting 1 million cases in one day this week, it's getting hard to keep hospitals and buses and schools and testing centers open. Which is why the CDC shortened the quarantine period for asymptomatic people from 10 days to 5. Partly because the science says you are way less contagious after 5 days, but partly because if cases keep going up in this direction, we're literally not going to have enough people to go to work. So if you were planning a dry January, better luck next year. Speaking of natural disasters, Antonio Brown was finally kicked off of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers this past Sunday. Was it for the credible accusation of sexual assault? No. Was it for getting a fake vaccine card so he could avoid the NFL's masking and testing protocols? Also no. It was for an on-field meltdown during which he disrobed, tossed his shit into the crowd, and left in the middle of a game. Two things are true. One, his behavior is absolutely inexcusable. Two, you can feel sympathy for him, knowing what we know about veteran football players and their experience with traumatic brain injuries. Here's a lateral pass of kindness from Giselle's husband to Brown.
That's obviously a difficult situation. I think everyone should be very compassionate and empathetic toward, some very difficult things that are happening.
Have you seen this picture of Pitbull? Just kidding, I'd never disrespect Pitbull like that. This is just being those. Here are the appalling elements. Fugly, skin-tight, white skinny jeans in the year 2022. A $1,200 shirt from an actually cool brand who we now need to call off for the foreseeable future. The sunglasses look like something I'd wear to Coachella in 2012.
You did?
I did wear them to Coachella in 2012. It's divorce dad. Ayahuasca. If you're gonna hoard money from all of your workers, at least buy better shit. Do better.